create one of these gorgeous metric tiles in Atlas, it's actually very easy. Tap on Menu and then Metrics. One more tap to create a metric. In here you'll set these properties to create one of these metric tiles. Visibility, public or private. What that means is if you check public, that means everybody who uses Atlas can see this metric. So typically the data you're going to use is public oriented data. Private, when you check private, what that means is anyone who is in your contacts and you have given secured access to, only they will be able to see that metric. So this is private to your system. Inactive allows you to kind of take it offline and maybe do some modifications for later. So we're going to select public and then we're going to give it a name. What we'll do is we'll do a quick check to make sure that you can actually use that name, because we don't want duplicates in our system. Then you can enter in a kind of a detailed description of that metric. That allows you to kind of define it so people know a little bit more about that. You can select the data type, number, currency, or percentage. Any kind of trailing symbol that allows you to shorten the number if it's a really big one. And then you can also have decimals as part of it too. Tap next. Now here we're Font Awesome. If you remember on the tile, you actually saw a little icon at the top. So we use Font Awesome for that. They have hundreds of font or icons up there. What you do is you take that tag, it starts with an FA hyphen and then the rest of the tag there. You put that in there and then we'll use those icons to denote your tile. It allows that tile to become more informational. The default view is the first view everybody will see of it. So you have many selections in here. Now if you only have a public subscription, which is the free one, you'll only see 5 charts. When you subscribe to other levels of Atlas, you'll actually unlock a bunch of the other chart controls that are in here. Then there's the secondary view here. This allows you to display a different view, so when somebody taps in to see more of the context stuff. I'm going to check bar chart. Now tags and categories, what that means is if your end user or yourself goes into the catalog and you see all those categories in there, this allows you to define kind of what buckets this metric should go into. So you can type in really anything that you want and multiple categories and we'll take care of that. You can also just tap off on the X there to delete a category. Now the information URL, what that means, and that's just for your purposes internally, but you might use a URL to denote where you got this data from. So when you come back in to update it or to manage it, you know where to go to get maybe that updated data. Then tap save. That's it. The metric is created, but you're not done. You still got to put some data behind it. So on your phones, a tablet, and the desktop, you can actually just manually enter in the data, which is really kind of nice. So you just come up, tap the add button, and just type in your value. Now, the actual value is required. The target value is not, unless you want to use some of the other controls, like a gauge control, so we can determine the percent difference from actual to target. Series is not required, but for pie charts, you'll be able to put in a series and we'll do those pies for you. And then date is required, so we'll put in the date, part of it. So just tap save and that value is in there. Let's do it again. So we're going to give it a 20. Let's say our target was 30. You don't have to enter series, but you can if you want. And then we'll go to 2016. And then we'll hit save. So now those values are in there. Let's enter in one more value. And we'll save. Now let's go look at it. So, or even better yet, I can type it in. I can set interest rate. Quickly get to it. And then that was the last number that I entered. Just tap into it. Now I see that data in the bar chart. Now down below, you as the author have the ability to leave comments on this metric. That way your end users can see maybe some narrative with the data that you've updated with. Now let's go back to the metric real quick. What I'm going to do is I'm going to edit it. So now you can go back in and edit the definition. You can manage the data, which means you can go in and edit and add some more data. Or you can relate the data. What we mean by that is when you go in to relate it, for this metric, I can say this metric has these other metrics related to it. That way you're telling and giving the end user kind of a path to the story. That's all there is to creating a metric.